Hi, my name is Marc Rosenberg. I am a past president of ISPI. I was president in 1990. I'm a management consultant in e-learning and knowledge management. I spent many years working in the corporate sector for HPT, and before that I was a university professor. I've been around about 30 years now, which is a long time in our business, as most of you know. I got involved in HPT when I was actually looking to change jobs from the university to the corporate world, and believe it or not, I found my job connection to AT&T through the Chicago chapter of ISPI. And because that was how I got my entree into AT&T, I got involved in the Chicago chapter, and through the Chicago chapter I got involved in ISPI and served on the board, became president, and have been involved ever since. My greatest HPT influence was clearly Tom Gilbert. I thought his book, Human Competence, was extraordinary. But more importantly, I went and introduced myself to Tom at an ISPI conference in Detroit. And I said to Tom, you know, I'm in awe of you. Your work has really influenced me. I'd like to talk to you about it. And Tom responded. He says, you know, I know where there's a great party, where there's lots of liquor and food. Let's go. And I knew that I had found my mentor, because we had a great time that night. Interesting application of HPT that I was involved in. Early in the 90s, when performance support was just getting started at AT&T, we built a product called the Training Test Consultant. It's not really relevant, you know, what that did. It was a performance support tool for helping instructional designers write tests. But the idea behind it was, instead of developing training, it was a knowledge base of information, a decision tree for making decisions about testing, and some other applications that were all integrated. And it gave birth. It was one of the earliest applications of electronic performance support. We worked a little bit with Gloria Geary at the time, and it was, in my view, a breakthrough. And the most interesting thing about it was my boss at the time thought we were doing CBT. And I didn't do anything to change his mind, because I knew that if he thought I was doing performance support, he would get all nervous and ask me, why are you doing this? So I just said it was CBT. And when it came out, it was so different and it was so performance-centered that everybody thought that we had really made a great contribution. And in Gloria's book on performance support, she acknowledges that, and it's one of my proudest moments. The other one is that I was the editor of the ISPI's first publication on performance technology, called Performance Technology Success Stories. And if you go back into the ISPI archives, you can read some case studies that we developed in the 80s about this field. The HPT term, I think people are confused with and trying to figure out what it all means, is e-learning. A lot of people think about e-learning as e-training, you know, courses online. You take an HPT perspective on e-learning, you start to think about e-learning more expansively as the use of a variety of web-based tools to improve workplace performance. And so e-learning begins to encompass knowledge management, it begins to encompass performance support, communities of practice, electronic job aids, and all of those things. And by expanding our notion of e-learning into workplace performance, all of these other tools and technologies become part of our toolkit. And that is really the value add that we who began our world in training and work in e-learning can do, is to take a more expansive look at what we do. And when you bring performance technology into the mix, and you bring the workplace, focusing on the workplace into the mix, and you take a lot of the Web 2.0 tools that are coming out now, we find a host of new approaches to improving performance with technology that I think are breakthrough, and I think will serve us well in the next five years as we go down the road. Thank you, Craig.